We'd like to set the scene for today's press conference at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Joining us this morning, we have Wyndham Clark, a U.S. Open 2023 champion, full swing cast member, PGA Tour player, and Chad Mumm, Vox Chief Creative Officer. So before we get into Wyndham's press conference, Chad has some news to share, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to make an announcement.
Thank you, Laura. First off, I just want to thank the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am for letting us make this Full Swing Season 2 announcement at their tournament. It's always great to be here at Pebble Beach. The big news from this morning in the world of golf, Full Swing Season 2 coming back on March 6th. So we're really, thanks. Really excited to share with y'all what we put together for this second season. The reception for Season 1 was, kind of beyond my wildest dreams, honestly, and it's been a dream come true to get to make this show. And as you probably would imagine, the last year in pro golf was as dramatic or more than what we saw in Season 1. And I'm excited to announce today kind of the cast list for the series. So we're going to be doing episodes, featuring Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Wyndham Clark, Joel Damon, Matt Fitzpatrick, Alex Fitzpatrick, Tom Kim, Keegan Bradley, Zach Johnson, Justin Thomas, Luke Donald, Justin Rose, and as you could imagine, a heavy dose of Ryder Cup in Italy. So couldn't be more excited about the arc of the season. We start off the year and, follow the first part of the season, kind of culminating in an eventful early June announcement that kind of threw the world of pro golf into a really interesting moment of turmoil that we were riding along for. And I think you'll be shocked and excited to see, just how much we are able to show you what it was like on the inside during that moment in time. And then, following up, we'll get back to Wyndham and his amazing win at the U.S. Open and at the Los Angeles Country Club. But, everything from Tom and Matt and Alex and their journey, and then kind of ending the season with the lead into the Ryder Cup and then culminating with a two-part special 2-episode Rome Ryder Cup finale to the season. I just want to call out the Ryder Cup. It's the first time that the Ryder Cup has allowed the level of access that we got this year to both captains kind of throughout the entire year. And you're going to see a look inside the Ryder Cup that no one has ever seen before. So sort of unprecedented levels of access, but also unprecedented levels of access to the entire team building process, including cameras rolling live with both the captains and the players as they receive their captain's picks. So we can't wait for you to see that. Coming back to the man, the champion sitting right here to my right, Wyndham Clark, obviously is the U.S. Open champion. And we are really excited to show you an exclusive clip today from his episode. It's episode 3 of Full Swing Season 2 that kind of gets into a little bit about what you're going to see in that episode with when the show comes out on March 6th. So let's roll the tape.
Perfect. We'll roll the clip.
Good shot. Good shot. I'm just excited to sit down and have one of our longer conversations.
My name's Wyndham Clark, and I play professional golf on the PGA Tour.
Oh boy, good job.
When I first got out on the PGA Tour, I really thought I was going to have tons of success. That wasn't in the cards.
For birdie, now Wyndham Clark here.
I was kind of one of the top guys coming out of college, Pac-12 Player of the Year, and my mind was like, all right, we're just going to do the same thing in professional golf.
Wow, this ought to be interesting.
Wyndham Clark was always looked at as a guy of he's got the tools. He's big, he hits it a long way, he's got a soft touch around the greens. It's like, why is this guy not competing with the Justin Thomases and the Jordan Spieths?
He's still not in for double.
Wyndham was a bit of an angry golfer before, and I think he would be really, really hard on himself.
I had trained my mind over years of belittling myself and thinking negatively, locking myself in rooms and not coming out for a long time, or drinking to excess, or being mean to people. I didn't want to play golf.
Oh my God.
And when you get in that pattern of negativity and I stink, I suck, I'll never make a cut again, all the things that I heard, it's hard to climb out of it. We had a little heart-to-heart. It was like, buddy, you're on the verge of not being on the PGA Tour or on the verge of being a star, you have to make a change because you can't keep doing this to yourself.
Take a stance.
Oh. Yeah, he feels the pain.
A lot of people on my team were like, we're pretty much telling you to see a sports psychologist, otherwise we're done.
Awesome. He told me, I've seen everybody, I've done it, they all tell me the same stuff. I don't need, I'm like, I feel like I have somebody different this time. I didn't know it was going to be different, but he had to try.
How's your anxiety level over birdie putts?
I would say it's probably higher than ours.
Well, I know that. I'm comparing it to when we really got you great, and
it's not.
It's gotten a little worse.
Yeah.
I started working with Julie in December. Now I have something and someone that is able to get me in the direction I want to be.
Make them care about you Sunday.
Yeah.
Sports psychology, mental coaching has taken off. People are really using this line of work way more often than 5 years ago. So why don't we say after this week, we really sit down and talk about how you're doing with it all.
Wyndham, congratulations on your episode. I know everybody's really excited to see the full episode, but just to start us off, can you open with some comments about your excitement to be in full swing in season 2 and what it was like to kind of open up your life to the cameras?
Yeah, well, this is actually the first time I've watched any part of the episode. I've always kind of had this weird thing about watching myself on TV. It's I just feel uncomfortable, so it's kind of cool actually to see it here. They've done a great job. But yeah, with that said, I'm really excited to be on the show. Seeing how it went the first season, I thought was fantastic and a great insight to what we have or what we do week in, week out as a professional golfer. And so to be on season 2, where I think there's a lot of great things that happened, and then to get an inside scoop on kind of my life and my story being a unique one out here, and then obviously having a bunch of success last year, it just makes for an even better episode and story that goes with the bigger story of the PGA Tour. So I'm really excited to be part of Netflix and honored, and I'm really hoping the fans like it and continue to want more of it, because I think there's even more great stories out there, and hopefully I continue to grow in my story and people really enjoy the future of the show.
Chad, I know you think that this is a very powerful episode. How important is it for players to be vulnerable with you so that you can craft and produce an episode that really is so captivating?
Yeah, I mean, I got to give so much credit to Wyndham for really opening himself up to the cameras, and it's not easy to just have a bunch of strangers show up with movie cameras and come into your living room and film you doing a meditation. But you embraced it from the first second, and really, I think that this episode is legitimately moving, and Joel Wyndham's story shares an episode with Joel Damon, and the parallels between their sort of how they got to the tour and their life before, and then also the way they've dealt with the things that have happened in their life is just a very fascinating and powerful contrast. And I think if anything, what people took away from last season, from season 1, particularly for a player like Joel, is that seeing behind the curtain, it takes you inside this world, and professional golf is this wild traveling circus. We're here in a tent, looking out over Pebble Beach. I mean, it's amazing, but what it takes to kind of week in and week out travel, and the grind, and how to perform at this incredibly elite level and make it happen when it counts. It's rare to see that kind of insight from an athlete, and Wyndham really brought us into that process. And it wasn't just Wyndham; it was his entire team. Rob is agent manager, and John is caddy, and Julie is sports psychologist. I think this episode's going to do a lot for destigmatizing the idea of therapy and how it can help professional athletes and anybody, honestly, be the best they can be.
I do want to transition and talk about golf a little bit. We're here at AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You're making your 4th start. Can you just talk about your excitement to be here this week, and if you've had a chance to play the course yet?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the most iconic places in golf, and I think if you ask any player their favorite place in golf. I'd say it's Pebble Beach or Spyglass or anything in the Monterey area. There's just something special about this place. It's so beautiful and has so much rich history. So to come back here year in, year out is amazing. I feel very privileged that we get to do that. And then this year being one of the signature events, it's makes it even more exciting that now we have the best players. These big events feel like majors, and now playing it on a major venue makes it even, in my mind, seem bigger. So I'm excited to be back here. The course is in great shape. They actually made a couple changes from the last time I played this. Some of the fairways are brought in a little bit on both courses, both Spy and Pebble. And so even little things like that make it feel more like a major. We're sitting here on number 3. You go to hole 4. They brought the fairway in significantly. You used to have a lot of room left. Now you have to challenge the right side. So little things like that I think they've done in majors in the past. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm hoping the weather holds up. Yeah.
And then last question before we turn it over to the media for questions. This is your 3rd start this season. Can you just share where your game stands and maybe what you're looking forward to for the rest of the season coming off of the success of last year?
Yeah, it's the first of the year. I took a pretty good break from golf after the Ryder Cup, and I played in Maui and Palm Springs. Didn't have my best showings, but I had a lot of good things happen. I hit it very good in Maui and pretty solid in Palm Springs. Just didn't get the putts to drop. So my game does feel really good. I just need to get the ball in the hole a little quicker, and that's kind of alluding more to the putting right now. But I've put a lot of work into it, and I feel confident in it. And I'm hoping that in this California swing that I really kind of get into the groove for the rest of the year.
Perfect. We'll go ahead and turn it over to questions. We can start right here with Cameron Morfitt.
Wyndham, a lot of celebrities and athletes say that they want to be real with their ghostwriter or whatever if they're doing a memoir, and then when it comes down to it, they don't really want to be that real. How did you sort of make that decision to go all the way in, and did you ever have any doubts about, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, I didn't really have anything to hide. I also think it's part of my calling in both golf and in life to kind of share my story. I've had a lot of adversity and challenges thrown my way, and I think my story will, I hope, inspire a lot of people, and the people that have had similar stuff happen in their life, that maybe this is inspiration for them to keep going and anything like that. And then also I really trusted the team and my team that they would protect me, and maybe in some of the things that maybe could have made me look bad or hurt me. I just said, you know what, I'm putting my faith in these guys that they wouldn't do that. And now, granted, I don't think there was any situation that was going to happen, but if there was any small thing, I just trusted them. And from what I hear in the episodes, everyone's been very pleased and happy. And I've always just thought being transparent is the best way to live life, and I think people honor and respect that.
Go right back here. Yep.
Yeah, Wyndham, you've always been pretty open about your journey and whatnot, but what's it like actually seeing those clips of maybe presented to you of some of those lower moments and maybe how far you've come?
Yeah, like I said, it's the first time seeing that. A lot of things I'm not proud of. One of those hitting that bag there, and I have many moments on the golf course I'm sure people have seen that aren't my finest moments. But I feel like I've come a long ways, and it's really neat to kind of look back now that I have the hindsight 2020 vision of seeing where I was maybe a year and a half ago or even 4 years ago when I did hate golf and was so frustrated that I wasn't playing to my potential, to where then have an amazing year like last year, and hopefully I'm kind of over that hump of a lot of the things I struggled with. So yeah, it's kind of surreal to be up here looking at this and go, wow, this really happened. I still have to pinch myself.
And then with Chad, what kind of difference did you see kind of maybe year one, getting to know these people, and now year two, maybe the comfort people have with you guys being around?
Yeah, I think last year we shot 750 hours of raw footage, on our cameras, and brought in another 3,000 hours of archive to tell the story that ended up being 6 hours of a Netflix show. This year we shot 900 hours, and we got 10,000 hours worth of archive. And I think that, you know, we just became part of the fabric of life on tour in a way that was harder in year one, just only because we were brand new and nobody had seen the show, you know. And I got to give tons of credit to every player who raised their hand for season one, because no one had any idea what it was going to look like, and they put their trust in us, and they, you know, they saw it when it came out on Netflix too, and having seen it, I think gave people a sense of like, yeah, this is the kinds of stories that they're telling, and it doesn't have to revolve around winning a major. It can be human stories and the struggles of like just living life, being a great person, and like taking care of your family. So, you know, being there for now 2 years, sort of going into our third year, you know, feels like there's a lot of trust. Everybody knows our crews now, and we're just, I think, hopefully, like that means we fade away, honestly, and become part of the background. And that allows us to capture the stuff that ends up making it into the show, the real stuff.
Matt?
Chad, I know you and your team are looking forward to a lot of the feedback coming in after season one. Now that you've had a chance to hear some of that, I'm wondering, are there any creative adjustments, and what were some of the things that you were hearing from fans after they had a chance to see the show?
Well, we don't explain what a cut is in this episode, or in this series, which I'm very excited about for season 2. You know, part of it, you got to realize, like, Netflix is such a global audience. I mean, it's the largest platform for entertainment, and this is going out into like 51 languages. I mean, it's 51 different countries. It's just a huge. I got to make sure Joanne can like correct me on the exact number of countries, and 91 countries, yeah, and 50 languages. We were number 1 in 91 countries. There you go. So Joanne's from Netflix.
You almost had it.
We almost had it. Anyway, so you know, you have to like recognize that you're not just making this kind of show for golf fans. Like, you're trying to reach people who are just fans of great stories. And one of the things I'm most proud of is just anecdotally how many people who aren't like diehard golf fans like fell in love with these characters in the sport by the virtue of watching season 1. You know, I think like as a diehard golf nut myself, like. It was like tough to have to explain what a par is and what a birdie means and what an eagle is, and what I love about this season is we just throw you right back into the action. It almost picks up exactly where season 1 ended. And episode 1, you know, picks up with Rory McIlroy, who at the time, you know, number 1 in the world, and is thrown into, you know, a very kind of chaotic first quarter of the season, and you know, so anyway, yeah, we made some creative changes in this fact that we don't have to explain the basics of golf anymore. We can just take you right into the drama.
Kelsey?
Wyndham, in season 2 of Breakpoint, we saw a lot of athletes starting to talk more about seeing a sports psychologist and just being a lot more open about the difference. Do you think there's a shift right now with athletes across the industry just being a lot more open about some of those challenges and just seeking help and guidance to, you know, better their career?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of people, even in the last 25, 30 years, probably saw a sports psychologist. They just probably kept it to the side because maybe it was frowned upon, or, you know, people always thought therapy, or people didn't talk about it as much. And in these last probably, I want to say really in the last 3 to 4 years, you've seen people openly be like, man, I'm struggling in life, or mentally stuff isn't right up in the head. And I think prior to that, people were scared to say that, and now people are acknowledging like that everyone has those issues. And so I think that's more of why you're seeing it. I don't necessarily think there's more sports psychologists or people are now buying into it. I just think people are opening up more about it, and I think it's good. I mean, I think it shows that we are humans, that, you know, in tennis or in golf or in football or whatever it is, that, you know, we're humans and we have the same struggles that everyone else has, and it's just our life is in the limelight, and that even adds another stress in life. So I think it's great, and I'm a huge proponent I really believe in it, and, you know, I hope people watching my episode are inspired by it, and if they are going through things, that maybe that's the answer for them, which is going to see a therapist or sports psychologist, or helping the next up-and-coming young players that, hey, this is what we do. It really does help. So, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you both for joining us.
Yeah,
Good
thank
luck
you.
this week.